Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. Let's go to Tokyo for today's daily challenge where destinations will be doubled and we have a whole bunch of trees that cannot be destroyed. Bah! Oh, nature is cackling at our folly and failures. All right. Off we go. We've got this light blue business here. Samurai Sam was here first. Good morning, Sam. Very quickly, let us pave this island right here. Hello, Hulkamat. Hold it! We insist that it is Hulkamat who was here first, despite the fact that if you look at the record, there's a reason we have a town crier and all that. People are freaking out because it is 6:58 in the morning and I started the show now because, well, I have to be on a Zoom call at 8, so we're moving a Vexus swiftness. If you notice that Goog is not as slow and strategic with the Mini Motorways thing, it's because we're on a crunch. I gotta go. Also, it is Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th, friends. It turns out that all of the world's problems have been building to this, the unluckiest day of the year, and the good news is that tomorrow everything will be back to normal. That's right. The year is 2011. Barack Obama is the president, and Republicans are obstructionist, but not, fascist dictators. We'd take that, right? Like, it wasn't ideal times or nothing, but we'd take it. I think we'd take it. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. I sneezed. All right. You know what we should do is not have these two colors go in the same entrance. Instead, we should swing the blues around over to here. They will have to cross over in this way, but doesn't really matter. You come up here. I sneezed again. Oh, owie. Owie, says the owie. Oh, my nostrils hurt. That's not a good sentence. No one should ever be able to accurately state that their nostrils hurt. That's just unfortunate for a person. Sam says it is funny when Twitch says, listen, we don't need to draw attention to the low single-digit viewer count that is perpetually inhabited by your friend the underscore Goog. But yes, it is, I don't know, man. The counter is slow and people have blockers and is ballpark figure intended to more reasonably accurately portray larger audiences. And when it gets to the small scale numbers, it's like, yeah, that's close. Yeah, that counts as close, right? I got a notification yesterday that I had completed the path to affiliate on Twitch, which is strange given that I've been an affiliate for like 4 years now. But, hey, we should do an affiliate-versary at some point. Then again, I should also plug Subathon 9? I think it's Subathon 9 we're up to now, right? Samurai Sam has redeemed... Goog recaps the plot. Hold on, I just saw what that was. Ed would like for me, the underscore Goog, to recap the plot of the 2004 World Series champion Boston Red Sox. Okay, that sounds like fun. And Hulkamat is leaving. Understandable. All right, so... in order to understand the 2004 Boston Red Sox, you must first understand the 2003 Boston Red Sox. The 2003 Boston Red Sox had not won the World Series in 85 years. That sounds right. Since 1918, that's how math works. And they were in the American League Championship Series against the New York Yankees. In that American League Championship Series, it went to 7 games because the teams were very good and the baseball was very good. And then in that 7th game, manager Grady Little left his starting pitcher, Pedro Martinez, on the mound for entirely too many batters. Like, Pedro was very good in Game 7 until, damn it, I didn't pave this island quickly enough. Oh well. Now it's an island exclusively dedicated to this one yellow house. Good job, that one yellow house. Pedro Martinez was very good in Game 7 of the 2003 ALCS until such time as he wasn't. And then he blew a lead, and then the Red Sox bullpen blew the game. So it became perfectly clear that the Red Sox needed a new manager, because we're never letting that guy touch this baseball team ever again. A new bullpen, because, well, apparently we don't trust this bullpen, and some better starting pitchers instead of just Pedro Martinez and kind of hope for stuff. So, they went out and got Terry Francona, noted doofus, Keith Foulke, very good baseball closer, and Curt Schilling, present-day gigantic Nazi asshole, but at the time, good baseball pitcher. He was a very good baseball pitcher. There was a whole deal. It was like, it was Thanksgiving, and they went over to his house, and they brought wine, and it was, I don't know. It was a famous story at the time. It has since been replaced by other famous stories of Mr. Schilling and his shitbaggery. But I digress. This story is not Goog recaps the plot of Curt Schilling as a Nazi. That is not something we'll be doing here. Anyway, so the 2004 Boston Red Sox started out, fine. Like, see, the thing with recapping the plot of a baseball season is, like, I've read the book Faithful by Stephen King and Stuart Onan, I think the guy's name is. Do I have that book within arm's reach? I do have that book within arm's reach. And I was right. It's Stuart Onan and Stephen King. You should go read that book if you are at all interested in an actual, like, day-by-day narrative of a, spoilers, triumphant baseball season. You should read that book. It's a good book. But at the same time, like, for the most part, a baseball season is just kind of a baseball season, you know? The Red Sox were pretty good. They were kind of struggling a little bit. They were, like, good. They were all right. They were hanging in there in, like, the division race and wild card picture. But they certainly weren't awesome. And part of the reason they were certainly not awesome is that Nomar Garciaparra was hurt and pouty. Nomar Garciaparra, as you may recall, or may not, was the Red Sox star shortstop. Yeah, they were like a 500 team until basically July. They were okay. They were pretty good. They were not great. And one of the reasons, there were several, but one of the reasons they were okay and pretty good, but not great, is that their ostensible best player, Nomar Garciaparra, kind of sucked a little bit and got hurt, like, all the time. Nomar had been like a budding superstar in the making, and he was due for a big free agent contract, but he had this tiny little problem where he was made out of glass. And, well, when you're trying to play professional baseball for a living, it's difficult to do that when you're made out of glass. So, Nomar Garciaparra had a rough time of it. These rosy goldy types are going to go down over to here. We've got this light blue situation, which is worse than you'd think it is, honestly, given the presence of these light blues. And the reason for that is there's no great way to navigate this road situation. I think the thing we're going to have to do is this. Hold on. Stop everything. What if we took these purples, we ran them here into a roundabout that goes right there. And because of the presence of trees, we're going to have to actually do this. And then we run the purples out this way, like so, up to here. So that gets these purples in here, and hopefully possibly service-aids this business. It also lets these rose golds move over down this way, which should be fine. Next, we run down here, and we have these blues kind of swoop all along this way, and these three blues go down there. That seems stupid, but not necessarily horrible. How about that? Can we classify that as stupid, though not necessarily horrible? Okay, fine. So Nomar Garciaparra was kind of good, but also kind of sucked. And the Red Sox as a team were just kind of okay. And one day in July, I think it was July, it might have been June, but one day in July, after like several months of just being kind of there, kind of futzing around, playing baseball, everybody kind of being okay but not great. One day the Red Sox were playing the Yankees, and the Yankees were very, very good. They had obviously won the ALCS the previous season. They were not too far removed from winning 4 straight American League pennants and 3 straight World Series. They were a very, very, very good baseball team, and they came to Fenway Park, and they were pounding the ever-loving fuck out of the Boston Red Sox. Which is a thing that happens more often than the Red Sox would care to admit, especially before the early 2000s. And it's 2004 now, so we're still in the early 2000s, functionally. What are we going to do about this? We're going to do this about this. We're going to run that, and we're going to run this, and now all of these pinks, and also this yellow, service this pink circle. Should be fine. You go down there. You're the new primary support for this thingy. Yeah, the Yankees were very good, mostly because they mashed the ever-loving fuck out of the baseball, like, all the time. They had a whole bunch of dudes who would smash the fuck out of baseballs, and their pitching staff was, it was fine. They had Mike Mussina. He was very good. They had Mariano Rivera, bestest closer in all the land. They had a bullpen full of guys I've heard of. They had, like, Tom Gordon and Paul Quantrill. Yeah, Tom Gordon, and, well, I suppose at this point it was kind of the slightly decaying corpse of Paul Quantrill, but still, you know, got a bullpen with the reasonably decayed corpses of Tom Gordon and Paul Quantrill. In 2004, there are worse things to have. Anyway, let's immediately move motorway number 1 so that we can swing this over to here, and now we need to get rose gold types over here, which is bad. Don't love it. I think, unfortunately, the thing we're going to have to do to satiate this business's fervent desire for dudes is this. Fervent desire for dudes, by the way. Yeah, Tom Gordon was good for the Red Sox. Once again, second time we've referenced Stephen King on this episode. But Stephen King wrote a book called The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon about a girl who got trapped in the woods or something and listened to a radio broadcast of a game that Tom Gordon saved. I don't know. I've never read The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, actually. Busy typing that Fervent Desire for Dudes is the title of the episode. All right, is everything fine? Is everything not going to die? I mean, nothing's going to die now, but we're all going to die eventually, so. There's your uplifting moment of the day, brought to you by Geico. Hold on. Save 50%. Probably should. Listen, Geico, if you want to give me your money, I'll provide more doom. That doesn't make sense. So anyway, the Yankees were good, and the Red Sox were kind of eh. And the Red Sox and Yankees were playing a series in Fenway Park, and the Yankees were beating the ever-loving fuck out of the Red Sox. And one day, something happened. I don't remember. There was like a hit by pitch or something, and Alex Rodriguez, who was the batter, took offense. And Jason Varitek, the Red Sox catcher, took offense to Alex Rodriguez taking offense, basically. And one thing you need to know about professional baseball is that fucking nobody liked Alex Rodriguez. He was an exceedingly talented, very, very good baseball player who was also just kind of a weird douche. He D'd someone with it, Sam. That's why they bring those to football games. Defense. Yeah, Alex Rodriguez, supremely excellent baseball player. Also, very weird, strange dude who's kind of a prick. Oh, that's right. Fucking Discord and streamer mode not working. Sackin' frackin' rackin', you literally have one job, Discord streamer mode. Okay. So this goes over to here. We'll get more blues coming this way. Swing that away. You point out here. So something happens. I don't remember if A-Rod got hit or almost got hit. Point is, A-Rod took offense, and Jason Varitek took offense to A-Rod taking offense, and they exchanged some words, and then they exchanged some shoves. More specifically, like, this all wound up a great moment in Red Sox history. It should be noted that this thing that apparently turned around the 2004 Red Sox season started with Jason Varitek, a man clad in armor, literally wearing a helmet, initiated violence against Alex Rodriguez Rodriguez, a man who was defenseless. He had a flimsy plastic hat atop his head. Oh no, Samuel. Mr. Rodriguez said a curse word, therefore violence is justified. This is baseball logic. Mr. Rodriguez said a foul word in the direction of Ramiro Mendoza or something. I don't even remember. Was it Byung-Hyun Kim? I know Ramiro Mendoza pitched in this game. I don't think Byung-Hyun Kim pitched in this game. But this game I'm talking about, this random, meaningless game in June, which turned out to allegedly turn around the Red Sox season, featured a fight that started when Jason Varitek initiated violence against Alex Rodriguez. And everyone was just cool with this because fuck Alex Rodriguez. And at the time, I was more sympathetic to that argument. In retrospect, I still kind of get it. Like, okay. I sort of get it. Hey, I just noticed that we have roughly 1,000 rose golds going down here to this business, and only 4 or so going this way. Should probably fix that. Here, have a couple more going this way, friend. You go off that away, you go down here, and that should be fine. You swing up there, serviceate that business. Cool. All right, we're still all gonna die, because, man, even having 7 purples, or 6 purples, I guess, this purple circle is just angered, which I find rude. But, yeah, this roundabout is not... It's not the best, I'll concede. It's probably bad. It may even rise to the level of being bad. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know what we're going to have to do about that. I do know that we have one last desperation move we can make, which is this. We can take these 2 purples right here and just send them on a magical mystery tour going all the way down this way to pour their purple hearts into the support of this business right over here. That should be fine. That should definitely not result in doom failures. Hey, you know what else we could do? Hold on. What if we totally just reversed the directionation of all of these rose gold fuckers? What if we sent them off this way and had like this rose gold road just go up here and over to here and down into this roundabout this way? That way they're all coming this way and they're starting up here and they're not putting as much pressure on this roundabout, right? Does that work, or have I just wrecked everything? It's entirely possible. Listen, Sam, we're bad at stuff. So Jason Varitek punches Alex Rodriguez in the face, and there's a big fight, and the crowd's all excited and whatnot. Later in that baseball game, the Red Sox win that baseball game. They come back, they manage to make up the deficit. Bill Miller hits a walk-off homer off of Mariano Rivera, which is cool, and the Red Sox win. And then shortly after the Red Sox win, it's trade deadline season. And the Red Sox have basically 2 problems. They have several problems, but they have basically 2 problems. One, they've decided their first base defense is bad. I don't know. They do have Kevin Millar, fucking asshole and scab. They don't decide that Kevin Millar is a problem because he's a fucking asshole and scab. They do decide that he's a problem because he can't field good. Which, I mean, he couldn't field good. But also, more broadly, this whole Nomar situation is kind of a big deal. Because, like, Nomar's bad this year, and he's kind of an asshole about stuff. Or at least, Red Sox media will portray him as an asshole about stuff, and we know how reliable they are. I mean, I don't think Kevin Millar is noted for, like, he's not a particular asshole in aside from the general baseball sense. Like, he's an asshole in the way any white professional baseball player is expected to be an asshole, but also he's a scab. And sometimes that means that this guy's career is just ruined, and sometimes it means he goes on to work for Major League Baseball. And would you believe it? Yes, indeed. Major League Baseball had no problems hiring a union-busting scab to work for their network. I think, well, I shouldn't say anything, but I think my plan to take more pressure off of this roundabout has succeeded in taking pressure off of this roundabout. It has not yet succeeded in saving this purple business, but there's still time, sort of. This purple business is not presently dead, so that's a positive. It's about all the positive I've got, unfortunately. The rest of this could just be a bad situation, come to think of it. You know what? We're just going to run these pinks right up to here, and we're going to trust that that's capable of solving all the problems that exist in the world. Okay? Speaking of all the problems that exist in the world, this light blue business is doomed. Well, that's rude. What are we going to do about that? One wonders. We do have these two light blues, like, right here, and I could just do that for a minute. That would, of course, eventually doom and screw this light blue business, but, well, one problem at a time, I suppose. Here, if we point these two light blues into this roundabout, they eventually get into this roundabout and go down this way and then kill this thing, right? That seems feasible. Let's take another bridge. I do have a motorway that I'm not doing anything with, which seems like it might come in handy for something. Should I possibly deploy that motorway? It's entirely feasible that I should. What is this blue house doing? I don't even want to know where you guys were. You were going up here and over to there and through here, and oh god. All right, well, we don't ever want to see that again. The world's most dangerous that. Here, you come down over there. All of these dark blues get off this way. This is all bad. So the Red Sox win that baseball game, and then they traded Nomar Garciaparra, and that was a big honking deal at the time. It was like, you traded our superstar player. What are you doing? Turned out it was a good idea, mostly because they wound up winning the World Series. So they traded Nomar Garciaparra, and they got back Orlando Cabrera, who was the shortstop for the Montreal Expos. He was pretty good. And they got, we're just dead now. That's unfortunate. And they got Doug Minkiewicz, who was the first baseman for the Minnesota Twins. And I still don't know why they got Doug Minkiewicz. I'm sure it made sense at the time. In retrospect, going out of your way to trade for a very good defensive first baseman is like, okay. Top 15% in the world, but, oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Drop those samurai slams in the chat. If you've got them, here comes this, and we bring in that. And let us now swiftly move ahead to the playoffs, because spoiler alert, the Red Sox make the playoffs. One time, quick story, one time on the way to making the playoffs, the Red Sox had a couple guys get hurt, but not so hurt as to be put on like the injured list and be off the team for 2 weeks. So there was one game where Doug Minkiewicz, career first baseman, had to play second base. And if you don't know baseball, that doesn't sound like a major adjustment. Trust me when I say that's a major adjustment. That was a big deal. It was weird. But it happened and it was fine, and I think the Red Sox won that game. Anyway, so the Red Sox make the playoffs, and they swiftly dispense of the Angels in the American League Division Series. They, swept the fuck out of them. It was fun. I think Manny Ramirez hit a walk-off homer one time. That might have been 2007, but anyway. We advance to the American League Championship Series, where once again the Red Sox are playing the Yankees. And good news, the Red Sox, well, bad news actually. I mentioned that the Red Sox had swiftly dispensed of the Angels. They had also slightly, kind of had Curt Schilling, who had emerged as their very bestest starting pitcher. He kind of super fucked his ankle in his game against the Angels in the playoffs. So that's bad. But Curt Schilling, despite having a super fucked ankle, says he's okay to face the Yankees. Curt Schilling goes out and faces the Yankees and gets the ever-loving shit pounded out of him. He was, in fact, not okay. So the Red Sox lose, and then the Yankees get to face Pedro Martinez again, and that goes very badly for the Red Sox, and they win. And then Game 3 gets rained out. So the way the playoff structure usually works is there's 2 games and a day off, and then 3 games and a day off, and 2 games. 7-game series, first to 4 wins the series. So the Yankees win games 1 and 2, and game 3 gets rained out. So now they just take out the off day, right? They take out the off day between game 5 and 6, and we're just going to go 5 games, 5 days, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Game 3, Fenway Park, Red Sox down 2-0. Absolutely positively have to win the game because no one in the history of ever has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit to win a best-of-7 series. The Yankees pound the ever-loving shit out of the Red Sox. And I realize that I just used those exact words to describe Game 1. I need you all to realize this is one of the biggest drubbings in playoff history. The Yankees turbo-bombed the fucking Red Sox. I think Derek Lowe didn't start this game. He started Game 4. I don't remember who started Game 3. It might have been Bronson Arroyo, but that man got his brains beaten in. It was indeed Bronson Arroyo. He got his brains beaten in, okay? The Yankees were up like a quadrillion to 6. It was a bad day for Mr. Arroyo. The Yankees were up like a quadrillion to 2. And they were very obviously going to win this game. And the only chance in hell that the Red Sox had was if they had all of their best pitchers available to pitch the rest of the series. So Tim Wakefield, who had been a starting pitcher for the Red Sox but had not yet started in that series, went to Terry Francona and said, "Hey, give me the ball, I'll take care of it." And Tim Wakefield basically did a fall on the sword for the Red Sox. He went out there and soaked up the remainder of these meaningless innings and used his arm instead of the more dynamic and versatile and breaky arms of the relief pitchers. And also the Yankees beat the shit out of Tim Wakefield. We don't need to emphasize the fact that the Yankees beat the shit out of Tim Wakefield. The shit had already been beaten. It was just about get through this. So they got through that. But now you're down 4-0. You're down 3-0 in a best-of-7 series, which have we mentioned that no one's ever come back from that? Oh, have we mentioned that your best pitcher has a turbo-fucked ankle and your second best pitcher has the New York Yankees in his head on account of last season they came back against him in Game 7 of the ALCS, and this season they kind of beat him in Game 2 of the season. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine. It was probably not fine, but Game 4, Red Sox down 3-0, down 1, bottom of the ninth. Kevin Millar leads off against Mariano Rivera and draws a walk. Mariano Rivera, best relief pitcher in the history of postseason baseball, and I'm not exaggerating in any way. Kevin Millar draws a leadoff walk. Good for him. Dave Roberts, guy you've never heard of until right this very moment because I haven't mentioned him because, yeah, for all I know, he wasn't on the fucking team until September 1st. Dave Roberts, speedy outfielder type, pinch runs for Kevin Millar. Dave Roberts pinch runs for Kevin Millar. Everyone in the fucking world knows that Dave Roberts is going to try to steal second base. And Mariano Rivera throws over to first like 8 times trying to pick him off, because this was back in the days when you could throw over to first like 8 times trying to pick a runner off. He throws over like 8 times. Dave Roberts' lead is so big that he's closer to second base than he is to first base. Not really, but you know. Dave Roberts steals second base. It's a big deal. Very close. I've watched that replay, something on the order of 100 times. I'm pretty sure he was safe. Dave Roberts steals second base. Bill Miller, wonderful human being, hopefully. Bill Miller, good baseball player, hits a single up the middle. Dave Roberts scores. Red Sox tie the game. Somehow, 6 more innings go by. Game goes fucking forever before David Ortiz hits a walk-off homer and we all come back the next day. Was it a walk-off hit or a walk-off homer in Game 4? I think it was a walk-off hit in Game 4 and a walk-off homer in Game 5. Spoilers! Game 5. Pedro Martinez back on the mound. Fenway Park. Gotta have it. Pedro, does okay. He does okay. However, we once again go to extra innings. Keith Foulke has thrown something on the order of 700 pitches over the last 2 days. In the future, it will turn out that in these 3 or 4 days, Keith Foulke turbo fucks his knee. Keith Foulke wrecks his career in these next 4 days. Keith Foulke faces the heart of the Yankees order something like 6 times with the bases loaded. He gets Gary Sheffield out. He gets Ruben Sierra out. They conjure Jason Giambi from the ether. He gets him out. I think I made that one up. He did get Sheffield in. He faced a lot of dudes with a lot of dudes on base, and he somehow got through it. And then after 79 innings, David Ortiz hits a walk-off single, and the Red Sox win Game 5. And wait a second. Holy shit. The Red Sox have won 2 in a row. But we're going back to Yankee Stadium. It's Game 6, and the best guy that the Red Sox have is Curt Schilling, who you may recall recently turbo-fucked his ankle, who you may recall did not know at the time, turns out had some weird experimental surgery done where they took a tendon from a cadaver and just kind of sewed it to the inside of his leg, and were like, it's gonna hurt a lot. And Schilling kind of shrugged and was like, okay. Curt Schilling takes the mound with stitching so fresh in his leg that the painkiller is oozing through his skin into his sock, creating a red stain. If you've ever heard of the bloody sock game, listen, friends. Curt Schilling is a terrible human being and a fucking Nazi. In the year 2004, and up until several years after that, the man was a motherfucking legend because of this fucking game. Curt Schilling takes the mound with a fucking oozing red thing going into his sock and throws like 7 incredible innings. Did I mention that we've played these games back to back to back? The beat the ever-loving shit out of you game in Game 3, and then the Dave Roberts steal game in Game 4, and the holy shit, how long is this fucking game in Game 5? There has been no rest days. The next fucking day is the Curt Schilling bloody sock game. And Curt Schilling throws a fucking gem with a bloody sock. And later in this game, this all happened in the same fucking game. God. Later in this game, the Red Sox are up by like 1 in the 8th. I don't remember why Bronson Arroyo is pitching in the 8th inning of a must-win playoff game. I think it's because we literally didn't have anyone else. But Bronson Arroyo is pitching, and Alex Rodriguez is batting. It's fucking Alex Rodriguez, a fucking again. And Alex Rodriguez hits a dinky little chopper down the first base line. And as he's running, Alex Rodriguez, did I mention that he was just a weird, gangly motherfucker and nobody really liked him that much? Alex Rodriguez, weird, gangly motherfucker who nobody likes very much, just kind of whacks Bronson Arroyo's hand and slaps the ball out of his glove. And the ball goes down the line and a run scores and the Yankees have tied the game. You can't do that. It's against the rules. You should not do that. It turns out the umpires got together and they realized, hey, Alex Rodriguez just kind of whacked the ball out of that guy's glove. You can't do that. You're out. Alex Rodriguez insisted that it was part of his natural running gait. It was not. It was not. It was an attempt at gamesmanship. It was cheating. Alex Rodriguez was caught cheating. And Bronson Arroyo got out of the inning, and the Red Sox eventually won the game, and now, holy shit, it's Game 7. Did I mention that nobody's ever come back from a 3-0 deficit to win a best-of-7 series? Up until this point, nobody had ever come back from a 3-0 deficit to force a Game 7. So we're already in uncharted territory. Yes, it's Derek Lowe on the mound, but we don't need to worry about that. It's Game 7. All bets are off. All bets are so off that the Red Sox just jump out to an 11-0 lead or something. It's ridiculous. They hit a grand slam. Mark Bellhorn hits a homer. You've never heard me say the words Mark Bellhorn in this story. Mark Bellhorn hit a homer. Johnny Damon hit a grand slam. The Red Sox had a big, huge lead. And then Terry Francona did the stupidest thing I've ever seen anyone do. It's not true. I've seen Terry Francona do stupider things. But so the Red Sox are up like 8-3 or something. It's a big lead. They have a big lead. It's the 7th inning. They've basically done it. The game's not totally over, but they've basically done it. They've come back from the brink of death death, they're going to beat the New York Yankees in Game 7 in Yankee Stadium to become the first team to ever come back from a 3-0 deficit to win the American League Championship Series. And the fans know it, and they're sad, and they're leaving, and the ones who are still here are crying, or they're Red Sox fans, so they're very happy. And the Yankees fans are sad, and the Yankees players are sad, and what's the worst thing you could do in this situation, other than just, like, forfeit? You could do something to get the Yankees fans back in the game. What could you possibly do to get the Yankees fans back in the game? Oh, I don't know. How about bring in a guy who they hate in a situation where he's probably gonna fail, so they can cheer about him failing, feed off of their hatred, and then get back in the game? Well, how would you do that? If only the Red Sox had a guy who the Yankees hated, like, say, Pedro Martinez, who was a starting pitcher and not a relief pitcher, and therefore unaccustomed to coming in the middle of games, and therefore unlikely to perform well if asked to pitch in relief in the middle of a game. Terry Francona brings in Pedro Martinez in relief, and Pedro Martinez does not pitch well. Now listen, I believe, I have never heard this confirmed, but I believe that Pedro Martinez went to Terry Francona and demanded to be put in that game. And the reason I believe that is twofold. One, it's the kind of thing Pedro Martinez would do. And two, it's the only explanation that even comes close to making sense for why in the fucking hell Terry Francona put Pedro Martinez on the fucking mound in the 7th inning of Game 7 of the 2004 American League Championship Series. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. But he did it. It went poorly, and the Yankees got back into the game. Fortunately, they didn't get all the way back into the game. Pedro got out of the 7th inning, and the Red Sox went on to win. But oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God, Terry Francona, why in the goddamn hell? If I could ask Terry Francona one question, and I'm sure people have asked this, and the answer may even be out there somewhere, it might be in a book, I don't know, but if I could ever ask Terry Francona one question and know for certain that I would get an honest answer, that question would be, why did Pedro Martinez come into pitch in relief in Game 7 of the 2004 ALCS? I suspect that the answer is because Pedro Martinez told me he wanted to do it, and I was not going to tell Pedro Martinez no. And listen, that's probably the right answer. But still. Anyway, the Red Sox went on to win the World Series. And if that seems like an anticlimax, well, the World Series was a bit of an anticlimax. They faced the Cardinals. Game 1 was kind of close. Game 3, they had a cool moment with Jeff Suppan. Like there was one time where David Ortiz picked Jeff Suppan off third base, and that was funny. But yeah, the World Series was really, in the moment, it was kind of scary because it's like, oh God, we've gone through all of that. What if we don't win the World Series now? But yeah, the Red Sox swept the Cardinals. So. Edgar Renteria made the final out and then signed with the Red Sox, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, his ground ball stabbed by Foulke. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball's world championship. Can you believe it? Cue the dirty water and all of that. The Red Sox win the World Series. This has been... And yes, Babe Ruth... War number 3. Edgar Renteria, war number 3. The curse of the Bambino ended with a man wearing number 3. But also, a man whose skin was entirely too dark to play against Babe Ruth, because Babe Ruth never faced a black man or a slider in his whole entire life. But hey, you should be judged against your peers, right? Anyway, the Boston Red Sox were the best team in baseball in 2004, if you count the team that won the World Series as the best team in baseball, which is a halfway decent measure. Hooray! This has been Goog Recaps the Plot of the 2004 Boston Red Sox. A good way to chat for half an hour. Now then, let us wordle. It could be flank. There is nothing in this world saying it's not flank, aside from the recently discovered knowledge that it is not, in fact, flank. I see. Also, I do still have to be on a Zoom call in 20 minutes, so we should probably start moving. Oops. It's entirely my fault. It could be polio. Listen, there's no rule that says it can't be a horrendous disease, just because horrendous diseases are, well, horrendous. All right. Let's see here. It could be silly. It could absolutely be silly. It's not, but it could have been. We know where the eye goes, at least. That's something. It could be Rilch. Now, granted, Rilch isn't a word, but it could be Zilch. That's a word. It's not, alas. I really thought it might have been Zilch. Okay. It could be Bilboo. Now, granted, Bilboo isn't a word. It could be... No, wait, there's no O. There's no O. There's... Well, of course there's no O. There's no... Anyway. So it could be... It's a good question. What could it be? It could be... Biled. Riled. It's not going to be riled because that's like a D version of a four-letter verb. There is, however, an E in the word. So... And I can't think of any words that begin E-I-L, so it's got to end with an E. It's bilge? Could be bilge? Hey, it's bilge! Okay. Oh, I sound like a Power Ranger pointing out Bulk and Skull's new friend. Hey, it's bilge! Anyway, let's play Time Guesser. Hi there. Is that LeBron James? That appears to be Larbin Jams. All right, so that's LeBron James shaking hands with Michael Jordan. Interesting. Sam didn't know the word bilge, randomly guessed it as your third guess, and we're like, hey, what? All right, so LeBron James shaking hands with Michael Jordan. We're at a basketball arena, obviously. This is Reggie Miller. That's Kenny Albert. So this is like... Okay, so this is an NBA on TNT game. Got it. It doesn't really... The yellow court here makes me think this is the Lakers, which would be the old Staples Center. But... also, this glittery basketball thing makes me think this is like the NBA All-Star game, maybe? That would generally explain... Well, the presence of Michael Jordan, but also the whole crowd type thing. Although I do see... Hold on. I think we just got a lot of information at once here. So this guy's hat says Cle 22, so we may well be in Cleveland. And this guy's lanyard, that's it, says Cleveland 22. Does your phone say anything, chick? You're taking a picture of the back of this dude's head. Okay, so that's not terribly helpful. But I think between this and this, we can say that we're in the Cleveland basketball stadium, which I think was called the Gund Arena, but isn't anymore. But we're in the basketball arena in Cleveland in 2022. That seems reasonable, right? That seems like a good deducement of logic. The Q. Okay, well, fine. Where did you put your Q, Cleveland? It's where people line up for things, I understand. Is that like downtown? Is that in the outskirts? Is it in Little Italy? I don't think your basketball arena's in Little Italy. It could be on the Detroit Shoreway, which is in Cleveland, for reasons. Oh boy. Man, you just steal place names from all over the place, because we could also go to Brooklyn. And hey, listen, it's not like anyone goes to Brooklyn when they're talking about New York. People go to Manhattan when they're talking about New York. Oh, God. All right. Is it the Wolstein Center? It's probably not the Wolstein Center on the campus of Cleveland State University. All right. Where in the hell is the Q, guys? Folks. We kind of want to find... I was right there. Oh, was I now? It's right next to the Prague. Well, I didn't see the Prague either, so I see Jacob's Pavilion, but that's okay. It doesn't help as much as you'd think it might. It was there on your... Well, of course it was there on your screen. That doesn't mean I saw it. All right, Shit, dude. There's the Cleveland Clinic. There's Cleveland Heights. There's the Walmart. I found the Walmart in Cleveland. God damn it. There's Euclid. There's Cuyahoga County Airport. There's a high school. And a country club. In the center. In the center. Not on the coast, but not far off. Perhaps in downtown. Perhaps downtown. Hey, okay, there's the Progressive Field. We're making progress here. Is it literally right next to the... Wait a second. Is it the Wolstein Center on the campus of Cleveland State University? That doesn't make sense. Oh, it's right next door at Rocket Arena. You have to get this close to find Rocket Arena. God. All right. So we're right there in 2022. Good Lord. All right. We were indeed... we were 20 meters the other way. We were across the court in 2022. Good God. Okay. Hi there. Proclamation number 1. With the unconditional surrender to the Allied nations by all Japanese forces signed in the name of the Fukushima 2nd September 1945, the Supreme Allied Commander of Alpha Forces in Southeast Asia. Okay. Has delegated to me, General D.D. Gracie, the command of all British, French, and Japanese forces. Okay, so we're doing a transition. It's 1945. This is D.D. Gracie. Removal or defacement of this proclamation is prohibited. Cool. So the question now becomes, where the hell are we? And this is probably the giveaway. Because we're posting this in... Wait, hold on. This looks French. Yep. So we've got this in French and English and whatever language this is. You know what this looks like? This looks like Japanese, but written in like phonetic English text, which doesn't look helpful, but it seems like the kind of thing the Americans would have done in 1945. So, That doesn't really, because, well, it's in French first, but, All right, I give up. We're in Tokyo. Listen, it just, eventually you kind of give up and you're like, okay, fine. Here, we could be in a very many places. I don't feel good about Tokyo, actually. I feel like half a world wrong about Tokyo. Where could we be? Where they'd post the signage in French and English and whatever actual language this is. What actual language is this? Is it Thai? Could we be in Thailand? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. Hi, Sonny. What language is this? I don't know what effing language this is. I don't think it is one. Vietnamese? It could be Vietnamese? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it could be Vietnamese. It could be Vietnamese. Fine. All right, fine. Here, that would put us in Ho Chi Minh City in 1945 then, wouldn't it? That would put us in Ho Chi Minh City in 1945. Thank you, Sonny. If an East Asian country uses a European alphabet with weird symbols and accents, it's Vietnamese. Great. Very helpful. Hi. Hello, purple-clad mother guys. What are we doing here? You don't look terribly happy to be wearing purple. Did something explode on you? Was that intentional purple? It kind of looks like it was intentional purple. But, all All right, so y'all are generally angry about something. Buddy, I'm sorry, are you wearing a jacket decorated with candy wrappers? I'm very confused. I'm very confused about your whole getup, friend. I want to know more. Apparently there are no obvious clues. Well, we've got a transit van with... Hold on. What does that say? Showers of blessing. Oh. Okay, well that's... Hey! What happened to no obvious clues, Sam? That's a G and an H right there. So this little van here is probably registered in Ghana, which means we're probably in Ghana. I could be entirely wrong about stuff, but, okay. Oh, I didn't mean to call you. Well, you didn't see the license plate. That's fine. Hi there, dude who's carrying a wrecking ball. Can you swing that? Because if you can't, I'm terrified. Actually, I'm just terrified of you. All right, so we're in Ghana in, man, I don't know, we'll say, given the masks in general weirdery, we'll put it in 2021. How about that? So Ghana, as I know from wrestling, is in Western Africa. Here we go. We don't know exactly where. We could put it near the capital, or we could be cowards and stick it in the middle. Let's put it near the capital. We're not cowards. We'll put it in the outskirts of the capital. We're a little bit cowards. It's 2022, actually. It was 2023, and I should have gone further into the capital. Oh well. Next! Hi there, Ronald. Worst diss track ever. So we got Ronnie and Ronnie's wife, and are you JP2 or were you the Pope before JP2? Fuck it. Where are we? Big old church, papal dude. I mean, there's one place where big old churches and papal dudes are regularly found. All right, fine. How cooked is this Reagan? Oh, this is a very cooked Reagan. This is a very cooked Ronnie Reagan. This Reagan's got no fucking clue where he is or what he's doing. Cool. All right. Vatican City, 1988. Makes sense. And we zoom 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 to the Vatican in 1980. Nope, not 9. 7. 1982? Good Lord. How cooked was cooked Ronnie? If that looks like cooked Ronnie, and that's not cooked Ronnie. Good God. All right. But yeah. That was JP2. Good for you. All right. Round 5. Hello, angry fellow. Did you bring a sack lunch? No, you're a different guy. Okay. So you've got a whole bunch of radio stations and Notre but un Canada uni d'un ocean l'autre. Okay. So nothing but a Canadian university dunks in the other ocean. Got it. It's perfect English to French translation. Hi there. Is that Frank? That doesn't look like Frank. It kind of looks like Frank. What's your pin say, Frank? It might not be Frank. But if that's Frank, that gives us a time frame. Also, the everything gives us. A united Canada from one ocean. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Nothing but one Canada. See? Same thing. Same thing. All right. So you want to unite Canada, do you? Well, that's great. Presumably you said that in Canada. Also, given all of the C's on your radio call signs here. Wait. Hey. At least one of these is in Montreal. Would be a very eastern Canada, but seems reasonable. All right. Well, given that guy kind of looks like Frank, and that mic says Montreal, we're gonna say that it is. They did say it in French. They did say it in French in the Frenchest province. Le Provence français. Le Provence suprême français. Suprême is probably not an actual word. Why am I going to the 2020s? Hold on. It's 1943. It's 1948. And We're in Ottawa, which also makes sense. Listen. But, okay, fine. We still did pretty well. 46,729. It was indeed. My accent, she is hilariously good. Ho, ho, oui, ho. That will do it for us today. On the time gets here. We have 8 minutes remaining in the program. Sam refuses to drop GGGs because I did not sing that sentence through before I said it. Sam does not drop them because of the assist from the software space, which is true. I sound uncomfortably similar to the narrator from SpongeBob SquarePants. Man, now I want to play a Dungeons and Dragons character which uses this accent, and that would either go very well for me or very, very poorly. Anyway, for the grid that is immaculate today, we need the Red Sox, Giants, Rangers, Cardinals, dudes that struck out 200 dudes in a season, and a dude who was an all-star. A person who did all of these things down here is one Pedro Martinez. All right, I'll stop. Pedro Martinez is a dude who struck out 200 dudes in a season and was an all-star. Chris Sale is a dude who struck out 200 dudes in a season for the Red Sox. A dude who struck out 200 in a season for the Giants is Tim Lincecum. Goog, please make this a routine. What? Goog's terrible French accent? All right. For 1,000 Goog bucks, Goog will speak in Goog's terrible French accent. All right. Dude who played for the Giants and Cardinals is Randy Wynn. Yes! Yes, that's a deep cut, but I was so confident in it. A dude who played for the Red Sox and Cardinals is Jeff Suppan. Could also use John Lester, but no, let's not. A dude who played for the Cardinals and was an all-star is Lance Berkman. A dude who played for the Rangers and was an all-star is Michael Young. A dude who played for the Rangers and the Red Sox is Doug Mirabelli, another member of the 2004 Red Sox who gets to be mentioned on this stream. And a dude who played for the Rangers and Giants is a good question. Gabe Kapler, yes, thank you, Sam. I think Gabe Kapler actually played for the Rangers, so damn it to fuck. Oh well, we failed. Folks, that is going to do it for us here today on Good Morning Mini Motorways. I will be back Monday morning, 7 o'clock Eastern, for another edition. Until then, this is the end screen. I gotta go. Bye.